If you are finding products yourself, you're already going through this process in your mind as you're looking at the products and deciding whether or not they should go on the spreadsheet. For instance, if you find a product at Walmart that's $50 and you look at Amazon at $60, you know that the fees are going to eat up any profit between that $50 and $60 at $10 of profit. So there's no sense putting it on a spreadsheet. Or if you see a product that's ranked 4 million in whatever category, you're not going to bother to put it on the spreadsheet because you just know that that rank is too high. You know that the net profit is too small. So those are things that you're already doing in your mind as you're looking for products. But once you have the products on the sheet, you need to go a little further in evaluating those products. Or if you are using a leads list where they just give you a bunch of products, you need to be able to evaluate them. Or if a VA is doing it for you, you need to be able to evaluate those products and decide whether or not they're right for you. And in the online shopping profit system, there's a product selection criteria that I've created that asks 5 questions here. Is the product an exact match? Am I able to list this product in my account? Can I reasonably estimate the future selling price? Not just the current price, but the future selling price. And how many units can I sell in a short period of time? And overall, is this product going to be profitable for me? So when I'm evaluating products, I kind of go through this in my mind. And really, if I were to kind of ask these questions or do it a little differently, I'm probably going to look at it like this. So if we're thinking about this from a checklist, for instance, if you were just to check off the list, the first thing that you would absolutely do is just make sure it's the same product. If it's a totally different product on Amazon than in the store, you're going to pass it by right there. However, if it's close, you still need to look and pay a little more attention. Gee, is the one on Amazon the same size? Is it a multi-pack on Amazon where it's a single unit in the store? So you need to verify that it's the same product, the exact same product. And then as you're looking at the price on Amazon, because that's kind of the next thing you look at, right? Here it is, it's selling for, let's say, $20 at Walmart. And you're going to glance at the price. If it's not selling for at least $35, $40 on Amazon, why bother? So that's that very next thing. You'll want to determine if that's really the right selling price of the product. Because product prices can go up and down. And if it's just a temporary jump in price, it's probably going to come back down. So you want to know what the real selling price on it is. This an accurate selling price? You can also take a quick look at the rank. This is the rank of the product within the top 1 or 2%. In some cases, you might want to sell something that's in the top 5%. But mostly, we're looking for products that turn very quickly within 30 to 60 days. And so we need it to have strong demand. And then the next thing, and this has to do with is how many units we'll sell in a given period. It could have a really good rank, but if it's got 20 sellers competing for the buy box, that means that even though it might be selling 100 units a month, if there's 20 sellers that you have to compete with, you're only going to get 5 of those sales. So competition is another factor right here. Rank and competition are determining how many units you might be able to sell in a given period. And then after that, is it profitable? And of course, by profit, we're looking at the net profit, whatever your minimum net profit is or your acceptable net profit. Am I going to make $5 on this? Am I going to make $10 on this? And making $5 on a product that costs you $100, well, that's a very small ROI and a very small net margin. So those two numbers are important as well. Net profit, profit margin, ROI. And lastly, if all of those work right, you've got to check and make sure that it's okay to list in your account. Now, I've got that as the second question up here, but as I go through my checklist and thinking this through, I'm looking to see if the product is a match. I'm looking at the selling price, and I'll probably glance at Keepa to see if it's an accurate selling price. I'll look at the rank just to make sure, or I'll look at the Keepa chart, make sure that there's lots of sales going on, lots of activity. And then I'm going to glance at how many competitors there are, especially prime sellers or Amazon. I'm looking at sellers that are competing for the buy box, and we can talk a little bit more about that. And then I want to see the chart here. Is it mostly green? That's what I'm going to be looking at. Is it mostly green? And if I have to spend more on the product because it's a pricey product, I'm not just spending $10, I'm spending maybe 40 bucks or 50 bucks. I want to make sure that my return on my investment is going to be high enough to make that worthwhile. Why make only $5 on a product that I have to pay 50 for? That's just way too low. So I'm really paying attention to not just the net profit, but also that profit margin and that return on my investment. And then if that's all good, I'm going to go through the motions of checking out if I can list the product before I ever order it. So that's that very last step down here. What I've seen in some of your spreadsheets and some of your questions that you're asking is that it appears that you're not grasping all of this. So this is just some of you. You find it either confusing, you're not looking at this entire list, and you're missing out on something, or it's just taking you so long. And here's the other trap. It's like, oh, is that really enough net profit? Well, let's see. Let me double check those, the dimensions again. Well, I don't know. It's only, in the top 1.5% rather than the top 1%. Is that too many FBA offers? And then you spend too much time deliberating on the process. You need to be able to do this quickly. Regardless of that big dream, you've got to build a foundation. You have to have a business that has cash flow.
You need more cash? Go out and source some more. Shove those products into Amazon. What's going to spit out the other end is profit. It's that simple, isn't it?
Then they start looking at it as, this really is a system. So how can I add more to my system? How can I start to scale this?
That's why this is so integral, each pillar leading up sequentially to that long-term reliable business.
These are the real assets then that somebody who wants to buy a business, this is what they look for.
This is the brand launcher, the career launcher, the income launcher. It's a beautiful thing.
How many of you are interested in selling your business? Build it to sell, make a profit.
They can learn and master this skill and then turn around and do it multiple times over.
Yes, you can make $1 million just selling on Amazon alone.